The resurrection. The gospel writers don't describe the resurrection with dramatic special effects. They give us something far more grounded. Matthew says, "Early on Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to visit the tomb." Matthew 28:1. They are grieving, not expecting a miracle, just doing what love does when you don't know what else to do. Then the world shifts. Suddenly there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down, rolled aside the stone, and sat on it. Matthew 28:2. The soldiers, trained, armed, disciplined, collapse in fear. But the angel speaks the one sentence that changed history. He isn't here. He is risen from the dead. Matthew 28:6. Not his spirit lives on. A literal physical resurrection. Cells reanimated, blood flowing, lungs filling, nerve pathways firing. A body transformed, yet still bearing the scars of love. And then Jesus appears, not to kings or officials, but to ordinary people who knew his voice. John tells us Mary was weeping when Jesus stood behind her and asked, "Why are you crying?" John 20:15. She doesn't recognize him until he says her name. Just one word, Mary, and her grief breaks open into joy. Paul later writes, "Christ died for our sins. He was buried, and he was raised from the dead on the third day, and he was seen by more than 500 of his followers at one time." 1 Corinthians 15:3-6. Not a hidden event, not a private vision, eyewitness testimony from hundreds. And here's what the resurrection reveals. Jesus doesn't just break the laws of physics, he rewrites the destiny of humanity. Death doesn't get the last word. Despair doesn't get the last word. Sin doesn't get the last word. The empty tomb is God's declaration that what feels irreversible in our lives is not impossible for him. If the one who stepped out of his own grave says, "Because I live, you also will live," John 14:19. then every miracle we've walked through in this video points to the same truth. The laws of nature may shape our world, but they do not limit our God.